The internet made them famous, the internet made them rich, and the internet watched them fall. These are most satisfying downfall of 2025. Some controversies destroy careers instantly, others unfold slowly, with each new revelation making things exponentially worse. Mizkif's downfall belongs firmly in the second category, and by the time the dust settles, there may be nothing left of his reputation to salvage.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Both Mizkif and Amiru were massive Twitch streamers, averaging 14,000 and 19,000 viewers respectively. They lived in the same house, worked for the same organization OTK, and while they never officially confirmed their relationship, fans knew. What nobody suspected was the toxicity festering behind closed doors. The bomb dropped October 25th, 2025. Amiru went live expecting to discuss a recent TwitchCon incident where a deranged fan attacked her on stage. Instead, she came prepared with something completely different.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing.
Years of psychological abuse, physical violence, stalking, and sexual assault allegations against Mizkif.
We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022.
She revealed their relationship started January 2022 and explained why she was finally speaking up.
One of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything.
Someone had warned her that Mizkif had recently done something similar to another woman in LA. She couldn't stay silent knowing someone else might get hurt, but there was another reason.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him.
Mizkif had been threatening a smear campaign against her since their breakup, even approaching her employee at TwitchCon with warnings that he'd destroy her if she talked.
It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream.
The allegations were devastating. She described him as extremely controlling, dictating what she wore, who she befriended, when she could stream. Then came the physical abuse.
It was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, you know, of course I'm not gonna think that, you know, I just, at the time, I just kind of was, you know, I just brushed it off. And looking back now, I feel like that was kind of the start of him testing my boundaries.
He threw plastic bottles at her despite her protests, once hitting her eye and causing a black eye. He threw his phone, destroyed furniture, punched holes in walls. She'd lock herself in her streaming room to escape him banging on the door, screaming that his insecurity was her fault. The internet immediately went to work, verifying her claims. Someone found an old screenshot showing her black eye from May 2023. The timeline matched perfectly. Others discovered clips of Mizkif throwing things at his previous girlfriend Maya.
No, I'm not talking to him today.
Well, nobody asked you to, so.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
Look at her face. She's so uninterested.
She said no.
Maya unimpressed. That's what that was.
2 Starbucks bags of Starbucks I got you over the past 2 days.
Oh my god.
Skip, that was
Throw
not
it back.
funny.
Throw it
Yeah,
back.
there better be. Oh my god, I would beat the shit out of him.
We're live.
What the fuck?
We're live, she said.
One particularly disturbing allegation involved him driving 150 miles per hour while threatening suicide because Mr. Beast invited another streamer to a video instead of him, with Amiru terrified in the passenger seat.
We were just getting food, and he was on his phone, and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
People then found an old clip of Maya describing an ex-boyfriend doing the exact same thing.
There's something about being trapped in a car with an angry, aggro man that is like the absolute most helpless thing. Dude, I did a guy that would go like 100 miles an hour on the, like we would fight in the car, which was never my decision. Like it just always like happened. Like we just would like fight in the car, and then he'd go like 100. And I would like literally like beg him to slow down. I'd be so scared and I'd cry, and then he would not slow down, so I apologize.
The viewership jealousy was real too. During a 2024 Rust event, Amiru had higher numbers than him.
I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him. And like I said, this is during an event.
He messaged her threatening suicide, then started slamming doors so violently during her stream that it broke the lock.
He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up. So even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore.
All because she was outperforming him. The most serious allegation came after their breakup. He asked to meet for closure. While she was crying, he started kissing her, then aggressively shoved his hand down her pants. She screamed.
When this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying, and he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants, and I screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, and instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without checking if I was okay or anything.
Instead of apologizing, he said, I feel weird, I have to go, and left while she was still crying. She showed over 40 instances of him trying to contact her afterward, leading her to file a restraining order. Mizkif's response was catastrophic. Hours after her stream, he went live, threatening to go full demon time and expose everyone's secrets.
Expose everything, bro? It's time to go full demon time. It's clearly obvious at this point. It's full demon time. Why not? It is time to go full demon time. Just letting you know, there is no holding back. Who cares anymore? I will expose everything about every person that you've ever known, and it is time to go full demon time.
Seemingly warning other creators not to speak up. He denied throwing things at her, claiming he just tossed his phone onto the bed while brushing his teeth.
She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights. I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened.
He blamed stress from previous controversies for his behavior, then bizarrely tried deflecting by accusing Amiru of neglecting her pet rabbits, something she'd predicted he'd do.
Amiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life, but as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail.
He admitted punching holes in walls, but claimed she was also violent because she threw plushies.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
He reframed the assault as a consensual date, conveniently omitting that she was crying throughout. Later, in offline chat, he suddenly blamed everything on drug abuse, steroids, shrooms, acid, raising questions about why this wasn't mentioned in his initial response. Her friend Taco released a detailed statement debunking the rabbit neglect claims, explaining she'd left the cage dirty because she was moving out immediately to escape a bad environment. Evidence showed she'd spent thousands caring for rabbits with medical issues, even driving 3 hours to emergency vets. Mizkif was ousted from OTK and filed a defamation lawsuit against Amiru and Asmongold. Legal experts predict he'll lose spectacularly, with one lawyer stating he's opened himself up to complete reputational destruction, unless he produces definitive definitive proof she fabricated everything, his career is finished. Sometimes, entire brands built on nothing but hype can crumble just as spectacularly, which brings us to Logan Paul and KSI's Prime brand, a cautionary tale of what happens when influencer marketing replaces actual quality. Building an empire on nothing but influencer clout is a gamble, and Prime Hydration proves exactly why. Logan Paul and KSI's beverage company skyrocketed to $1.2 billion in sales within 2 years, sparked black market resales at ridiculous markups, then spectacularly imploded, getting banned in multiple countries and becoming a cautionary tale about prioritizing marketing over substance. The partnership itself was genius marketing. These weren't just random YouTubers teaming up, they were sworn enemies who'd battled twice in boxing matches that helped birth the influencer boxing phenomenon. So when Logan hinted at big news on January 4th, 2022, everyone anticipated a trilogy fight. Instead, the former rivals shocked 540,000 live viewers.
We have a project we want to tell you about. We have created our own drink company. Yes!
By announcing Prime Hydration as business partners. The surprise factor alone made it go viral, and their first batch vanished in hours. Their distribution strategy borrowed from streetwear brands like Supreme. Instead of flooding shelves, Logan and KSI deliberately starved the market, making Prime feel exclusive rather than accessible. Even after partnering with major retailers like Walmart and Target, they kept stock levels low. Kids hunted for bottles like treasure. Resellers flipped them for insane profits, and limited editions like the Nightmare and Glowberry became instant collectibles. Prime transcended being a drink. It became a flex. Teenagers literally displayed empty bottles in their bedrooms like trophies. The numbers told an incredible story initially. $250 million in year 1, over $1 billion in year 2. They landed partnerships with Arsenal, FC Barcelona, UFC, and WWE. Manufacturing deals were signed anticipating years of demand. Logan openly discussed billion-dollar buyout offers from Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Then reality hit. The actual product was terrible. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay compared drinking it to swallowing perfume.
It's like swallowing perfume. What is that?
Major streamers trashed the taste.
And I tried Prime unbiased, okay? Unbiased at all. And I hated all of them.
Che, I need to be. Huh. Nah, they don't need to pay me. This is called sour flair. Horrible.
I'll keep it 100 with y'all. I drink lemonade almost every single day. I have pink lemonade on my desk. I am a lemonade god.
Guys, this is the new Hydration Prime drink. It's supposed to be sour. Let's give it a little taste, you know what I'm saying?
Describing it as overly sweet with a chemical aftertaste. Athletes stuck with Gatorade and Powerade, proven products that actually work. The situation deteriorated when Prime Energy launched in 2023.
Better for you caffeinated beverage to add to our hydration line.
Packing over 200 milligrams of caffeine into each can. That's equivalent to 6 Coca-Colas or almost 2 Red Bulls. Medical professionals raised alarms about potential heart issues, anxiety, and digestive problems, especially dangerous for the children and teenagers Prime was targeting. New Zealand banned it outright. Australian schools followed suit. American parents demanded FDA intervention. But the death blow was simpler. The hype died. Gen Z and Gen Alpha consumers are notoriously fickle, constantly chasing the next viral trend. After 2 years, Prime wasn't new or exciting anymore. Without quality backing the brand, repeat purchases evaporated. By mid-2024, stores were stocked, but sales were dead. The UK saw a 70% sales collapse and 92% profit crash. US sales dropped 40%. Legal problems compounded everything. A class action lawsuit alleged Forever Chemicals in their grape flavor despite marketing clean ingredients. Manufacturing partner Refresco sued for tens of millions claiming breach of contract. Supplier Agrana filed for $13 million in unpaid invoices. The US Olympic Committee sued over unauthorized trademark usage. Today, Prime sits on clearance shelves at $1 per case. Logan and KSI banked millions, but the brand they built on hype alone couldn't survive contact with reality. When style matters more than substance, the crash is inevitable. Prime proved that even billion-dollar brands can't survive on hype alone, but at least Logan and KSI's downfall was about poor product quality and bad business decisions. Our next story is far more disturbing because James Charles's downfall wasn't about what he created, but about a pattern of predatory behavior he just couldn't stop repeating. Some people have an incredible ability to self-destruct, and James Charles might be the poster child for it. Here's someone who became beauty's first male icon, worked with the biggest names in the industry, and somehow threw it all away through a pattern of behavior he couldn't stop repeating, even when the consequences kept getting worse. The rise was meteoric. Before even graduating high school, James convinced his yearbook photographer to reshoot his senior photo with a ring light so his highlight would be popping. That single tweet blew up with tens of thousands of retweets and caught Zendaya's attention. But the real turning point came when Katy Perry announced him as CoverGirl's first male spokesperson. Overnight, this teenager was standing shoulder to shoulder with Taylor Swift and Rihanna as the face of a major cosmetics brand. What separated James from other viral stars was his personality. His makeup tutorials weren't just technical, he was funny, self-deprecating, and genuinely entertaining. By 2018, he'd hit 1 million subscribers. Then came the Sister Squad with Emma Chamberlain and the Dolan twins, launching him into a different stratosphere. Videos regularly pulled 10+ million views. He collaborated with Kylie Jenner, walked the Met Gala, and had mentor Tati Westbrook guiding his career. This was the peak. The cracks started showing when James publicly admitted he preferred pursuing straight men.
My boy who is straight.
Love that for you. That's easy.
It's easier than you would think.
Drama with model Gage Gomez at Coachella sparked accusations of pressure and manipulation. James fired back with receipts, and people bought his defense. Crisis averted, or so it seemed.
Begin putting a little bit of pressure on me, of getting to know me, without disregarding the fact that I told him I was straight. Because as you all know, this person 99.9, maybe even 100% of the time goes after heterosexual men.
Then Tati nuked their relationship with Bi Sister, a brutal call-out video accusing James of harassing a straight waiter at her birthday.
Oh my god, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim.
According to her, when she reminded James the waiter was straight, he allegedly replied, "Doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity."
You were talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter, and when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, "Doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity." So freaking gross, and you said that in front of my family.
The backlash was instant and brutal. James hemorrhaged 3.1 million followers in 7 days, including 1.26 million in 24 hours. Still the fastest subscriber loss in YouTube history. But James fought back strategically. His No More Lies response dismantled Tati's accusations point by point with evidence, even exposing Jeffree Star's involvement in orchestrating the campaign against him. It worked. He rebuilt, tripling his viewership within a year. The controversy reached its peak in 2021, after remarks made on Logan Paul's podcast.
I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. I would date the absolute youngest, 18, 19 that looks a little bit older, or 24 that has a young personality.
Okay. A minor came forward alleging inappropriate online communications with James via social media. Reports indicated the behavior continued despite age disclosures.
I went into the bathroom and I guess he saw the bathroom light, so he started making the conversation very sexual and it made me really uncomfortable.
Several other underage individuals made similar accusations. The consequences were severe. YouTube removed his monetization privileges, major brand partnerships dissolved, and his television projects were terminated. His apology? Blaming it all on being desperate.
And I couldn't understand why relationships were the one outlier. Why were they not working? Why was this area of me so different? And I finally came to a conclusion. It sucks and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
Nobody was convinced. Views collapsed from 10 million to 4 million. He clawed back some ground until 2025, when influencer Kayla Malik exposed abuse from her ex-boyfriend Evan Johnson. Evidence emerged showing James had been coaching Evan during the investigation, and worse. When Kayla revealed their breakup, James immediately asked, "Can I have him now?"
He is the only person I told about a quote 30-part series that I was gonna film about what I had went through. He goes, what? I go, girl, he's fucking crazy. And then there we go. What happened? Can I have him now?
Zero empathy for an abuse victim. His numbers have since cratered to barely 1 million views. The pattern is clear. Every time James opens his mouth to defend himself, he makes it worse. And this time, there's no comeback left. James Charles proved that refusing to learn from your mistakes will eventually catch up with you. But at least his downfall came from personal behavior rather than professional fraud. Mike Israetel's collapse is different. It's about a man whose entire career was built on academic credentials that turned out to be a complete sham. Mike Israetel went from declaring himself smarter than every fitness coach alive with an IQ above 160 to having his entire academic foundation exposed as a fraud, and somehow still refuses to admit the truth.
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter than almost every coach, maybe every coach.
Mike built his empire on credentials. After wrestling in high school sparked his fitness obsession, he earned a kinesiology degree, a master's in exercise science, and ultimately a PhD in sport physiology from East Tennessee State University in 2013. His dissertation supposedly compared 80 Division I athletes across various fitness metrics. Armed with this doctorate, he taught at Temple University and the University of Central Missouri before launching Renaissance Periodization with college friend Nick Shaw.
Hey folks, Dr. Mike Israetel here for Renaissance Periodization for the bonus video with your templates, making sure to categorize your workouts and thus your nutrition for either hard, moderate, light, or non-training days.
His YouTube channel exploded by offering science-based fitness advice backed by his PhD credentials. Beginners and pros alike saw him as the ultimate authority. He even critiqued legends like 8-time Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman, claiming Ronnie's famous heavy lifting was just for swag rather than actual muscle building. By 2024, RP had 3.8 million subscribers and Mike was everywhere. Podcasts, apps, books, all built on being Dr. Mike.
Logically, as a responsibility to my future self, to my wife, to the company, and in a much lower key sense, it's not really responsibility, but a goodwill gesture to everyone that follows the channel. It's just much better when I'm productive and focused on that stuff.
The first cracks appeared during a 2019 debate with Greg Doucette about training volume. Greg kept his composure while Mike appeared disinterested, literally yawning on camera. The consensus. Greg left his ego at the door. Mike didn't, but that was just foreshadowing.
Okay, well, I think it really depends on how often you're training each muscle. And like back in the old days, everyone seemed to do like one body part a week, like chest on Monday, arms on Tuesday, and legs and so on. And I think nowadays the people are catching up and knowing that they should train each body part more than once a week.
Things escalated when Mike pursued competitive bodybuilding in 2023, requiring steroid use. He documented severe side effects, crippling anxiety, rage, intrusive violent thoughts, prompting Greg to urge him to stop for health reasons. After placing poorly due to insufficient tanning, Mike snapped, calling Greg a two-faced lying sociopath and claiming he'd been set up during their debate.
If you come at it with that intensity, I had a debate back in the day on Omar Isuf's channel with Greg Doucette, who is a two-faced lying sociopath sucker. Print that. And
then Mike's arrogance reached new heights. He constantly proclaimed he was smarter than every coach, tougher than everyone, better in every way. He claimed nobody could challenge his methods because he was one of the top experts in the world. This ego trip made people look closer at his PhD thesis.
Across the thesis, Mike presents impossible and contradictory data, inflates simple points with jargon, and allows hundreds of basic grammatical, typographical, and formatting errors to remain uncorrected.
YouTuber Solomon Nelson dropped a bombshell in September 2025. Mike's thesis was sloppy, shallow, and confused. The findings were already well known. Stronger athletes are more muscular. Powerful athletes jump higher. Nothing remotely original despite PhD requirements demanding significant new contributions. Worse, the document was riddled with errors. Impossible statistical values claiming athletes weighed either 2.1 kilos or 145 kilos due to copy-paste mistakes. Identical typos duplicated across chapters, missing spaces throughout making words run together, and dozens of misspellings including vertical as vetricle and science as sense.
Mike misspells the word vertical as vetical or vetricle, individual as invididual, properties as propertites, biomechanics as biomechanins, neural as neural, training as traininige, science as sense, as already noted.
Mike's response? Pure damage control. He restricted thesis access, claimed Solomon reviewed a rough draft instead of the final version, and had friend Dr. Milo Wolf defend him on camera. They presented a suspiciously edited Google Doc supposedly proving the final version was clean, except the metadata showed it was owned by a random marketing agency and edited in October 2025, right after Solomon's video dropped.
The group that puts out these critiques, Solomon Nelson, Lyle McDonald, Johnny Shreve type folks, they're just known for doing things in bad faith. And so I don't really ever take their criticism seriously.
When caught, Mike admitted it was the correct document, but downplayed everything as clerical errors. He threw Milo under the bus and never properly addressed it on his main channel, successfully keeping most of his audience in the dark.
I've lied. I've lied a lot.
I guess technically I submitted the wrong draft to the graduate school.
Lying is easy as hell. I can do it at the drop of a hat.
Remarkably, his subscriber count didn't drop, it grew, but his reputation is permanently damaged. The man who built everything on being smarter than everyone else just proved he's willing to lie rather than admit mistakes from 12 years ago. From intellectual fraud to financial fraud, Mike Israetel's downfall came from lying about his qualifications. FaZe Banks' collapse came from something far worse, systematically scamming the young fans who trusted him, then blaming everyone but himself when it all fell apart. FaZe Banks' entire career has been one long con, and in 2025, it finally caught up with him. Within a month, he lost his CEO position at FaZe and got exposed for allegedly scamming close friend Aiden Ross, all while claiming he'd never scammed anyone, despite a decade of evidence proving otherwise.
I know it's been 3 weeks, it's been 3 long weeks, but me and my boys, we've been taking dance lessons and jamming a whole lot.
Dance class!
We're gonna throw this.
Once the camera died, right as it
Tico,
fell.
he's leaving. I love him so
The camera just died.
Tico! He goes, we love you, Tico!
Richard FaZe Banks Bankston helped transform FaZe from a Call of Duty trickshot group into a multi-million-dollar esports organization. His real talent wasn't gaming, it was branding and leveraging personalities to build hype. He embodied the dream of making money playing games with friends, appealing directly to teenage boys and young adults. But Banks' contributions came wrapped in controversy. He admitted to creating CSGO Wild, a gambling website that made $200,000 daily. FaZe members denied owning the site while shamelessly promoting it to young fans. The platform had a terrible reputation, rigging odds, withholding funds. When people discovered FaZe owned it, fans were furious. One user described losing $2,700 to the site owner in a rigged coin flip.
I'll let you in on a secret. Don't tell anybody I said this, but we figured out how to just scheme so much money out of Hollywood and the internet. Like, we're just running with it.
I know it, dude.
Until the fucking wheels fall off.
Man, dude.
This was just the beginning. Over the next decade, Banks promoted Save the Kids token, Hawk Tuah coin, and countless crypto projects that immediately crashed to zero. His strategy: pump hype, dump tokens, leave fans holding worthless bags.
I think it's irresponsible almost to not have at least 20% of your money in crypto, just because there's a really solid shot, you know, in 5 years from now, Bitcoin is going to be worth more money than it is today.
In January 2025, Banks endorsed MLG Coin, a meme coin based on defunct esports organization Major League Gaming. He tweeted it had real culture, 15 years of history, biggest upside, none of which indicated actual value. On February 4th, Aiden Ross went live with Banks for a crypto crash course. Banks bragged about his team making 6 to 7 figures regularly and positioned himself as the ultimate crypto expert.
He's a genius, doesn't leave his room, he's autistic, he only eats pizza, and he stares at his monitors 23 hours out of the 24 hours in a day. Do you know how up it is to live with this kid? And every 2 days, he hits a 7-figure lick, and I miss everything.
Tells nobody.
And then CT is spamming about how we're some insider trading cabal. It's like, who? Who the on the inside?
Then Aiden bought $50,000 of MLG on stream. Within moments, he'd lost $7,000. Minutes later, another $6,000 vanished. Banks dismissed it as people using you as exit liquidity and assured him it would recover. When Aiden worried about rug pulls, Banks' crew laughed it off.
Just listen. Just listen.
Dude, can I talk about that?
Talk about it.
Why am I down?
Because people are using you to sell. People are using your buy as like a spot to sell.
I'm down 12th grade.
It's okay.
It'll go up.
People have been expecting this moment all day because again we're retarded.
The coin collapsed. By July, leaked DMs showed Banks privately blaming Aiden, calling him the only bad actor, and claiming Aiden effed this up. Banks had also threatened the MLG developers demanding a bigger token share, writing, "I make 6 figures a day, was never about the money, more about being right."
We get on a call 5 months ago and the guys are like, listen, we're over the drama. We think it's best if you just like publicly step down from FaZe, just to cool down the drama online. I reacted very emotionally to this.
When Aiden exposed the DMs, Banks tried damage control, stepping down as FaZe CEO, claiming he'd never scammed anyone, and using mental health as an excuse. Former FaZe member Rain called him out for refusing to admit if the DMs were real and failing to take accountability.
I mean, I saw a lot what Banks said. I saw the way he's going about defending himself, but one thing I haven't seen him say is if those DMs are real or not, what he said in the chat. It seems like he's kind of dancing around that topic. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not like, it's just, bro, like we all fuck up, we all make mistakes, but it's all about taking accountability for a lot of stuff, right?
Banks eventually went on stream with Aiden, deploying every manipulation tactic, appealing to their friendship, claiming conspiracy against him, walking back his investment claims by calling meme coins literally just gambling.
Anything that isn't Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Hyperliquid, like these things are all liable to fucking shit the bed at any time. You're really just gambling. It's literally just gambling.
Even after dodging accountability with a hastily signed contract, Banks lost his position at FaZe and whatever credibility remained. His career was built on scamming fans, and 2025 finally made him pay the price. While FaZe Banks built his empire on scamming fans out of money, some influencers sabotaged themselves in more insidious ways. Amy Schumer rose to fame as comedy's feminist champion, then systematically betrayed every value she claimed to represent, all while refusing to admit she'd done anything wrong. Amy Schumer was once the biggest female comedian on the planet, selling out arenas and headlining blockbusters. Then she destroyed it all through a toxic combination of hypocrisy, plagiarism, and an ego that couldn't handle the slightest criticism. Her breakthrough came in 2011 when she stole the show at the Charlie Sheen roast on Comedy Central.
I mean, Charlie, you get a bad rap, but you're just like Bruce Willis. You know, you were big in the 80s, and now your old slot's being filled with Ashton Kutcher.
Her fearless, unapologetically dark set went viral with 10 million YouTube views, launching her into mainstream success. By 2013, she had her own show, Inside Amy Schumer, which became an instant hit. She tackled taboo topics like sexism and body image, establishing herself as comedy's feminist icon.
I see some dude in a full blackout just walking at me like a zombie, just pointing at his own dick, like, here.
By 2015, she'd written and starred in Trainwreck, becoming the highest paid female comedian in the world. Then the cracks started showing. The Guardian published an article highlighting her racist jokes, calling Latina women crazy, generalizing Latino men as sex offenders. Instead of apologizing, Amy doubled down, tweeting, "Playing with race is what makes it so fun for comics. It is a joke and it is funny." Worse came in January 2016 when comedian Wendy Liebman accused her of joke theft. Within hours, viral compilations proved Amy had stolen material from multiple female comedians. Kathleen Madigan.
So I get why poor people are fat, but Oprah, you're a billionaire. You have enough money to pay a man to stand there and literally slap shit out of your hand before you put it in your mouth.
Slap Chef. It's Slap Chef. Slap Chef? What's that? It's a new weight loss program that takes decision-making out of the equation. How does it work?
First, one of Slap Chef's world-class chefs makes you one of their signature dishes. Then, before you can say Slap Chef, they knock it out of your stupid mouth. Slap Chef.
Tammy Pescatelli.
That women dress for other women, right? That's why men, if we love you, we dress you for other women too. That's why we dress you stupid. Because we want another woman to look at you and go, he's cute, but I can't fix all of this.
You dress him like that so nobody else wants to have sex with him? That's cool.
And Patrice O'Neal.
You have a gorilla masker? Gorilla mask? That's it. You come in a face, right? And then take some pubic hair and throw it at her.
Here's the Abraham Lincoln. That's where The guy trims his pubes, comes on the girl's face, and then throws the pubes. So she has that facial hair.
The evidence was damning. Instead of owning it, Amy claimed she'd never seen their work and suggested they were just jealous of her success.
Being accused of stealing jokes, and I wanted to come and talk to you about it and clear my name because I would never ever do that, and I never have. Kathleen's a great comedian. I have never seen one of her specials. I had never heard her do that joke. I didn't know Wendy till I got older. I never would have seen her stand up in the 90s, but I love her. I don't think it's personal. I think it's just hard to see someone doing well, and maybe they pick, like, you know, maybe Tammy pictured a different life for herself and a different outcome, and then so to see someone who's succeeding.
Fellow comedian Tammy fired back. She purports to be a feminist, yet only steals from other female comedians. People then revisited a 2014 speech where Amy described having sex with an extremely intoxicated man, detailing how his face was distorted and he couldn't focus. What she framed as empowering looked like assault, especially hypocritical given her vocal support of the Me Too movement. The contradictions piled up. When Glamour featured her in a plus-size issue, she complained about being labeled plus-size despite building her brand around body positivity. In 2016, she stopped a Tampa show to mock a Trump supporter, triggering 200 walkouts after launching into a political rant.
Okay, just so you know, I appreciate you coming up. I am in no way trying to shame you. This isn't going to be a rowdy for either of us. I just really want to know. So tell me why Trump has your vote.
Because I can't trust her word.
Okay, you can go sit down. So thank you. I appreciate that. So we won't get any more into it. I really appreciate that. That was just cool to hear what one guy who doesn't seem like a psychopath, why he would want to vote for that orange sexual assaulting fake college starting.
Her 2017 Netflix special, The Leather Special, flopped spectacularly with thousands of one-star reviews. Amy blamed alt-right trolls instead of acknowledging the material was simply unfunny and featured more stolen jokes. Her 2018 film I Feel Pretty bombed for suggesting women need delusion to feel confident. The final nail came in 2023 during the Israel-Palestine conflict. Amy posted blatantly Islamophobic propaganda, shared fabricated protest slogans, and weaponized anti-Semitism accusations against critics. When MLK's own daughter called her out for misrepresenting her father's words to justify her stance, Amy's hypocrisy had come full circle. Amy Schumer's downfall wasn't cancel culture or bad luck. It was the inevitable result of someone who spent a decade lying, stealing, and deflecting rather than accepting responsibility. She betrayed every principle she claimed to champion, and her audience eventually abandoned her for it. The internet has a long memory, and audiences eventually see through the excuses. These weren't random acts of cancel culture. They were inevitable consequences of patterns these people refused to break. 2025 taught us that ego, hypocrisy, and an inability to admit fault will destroy even the biggest careers. The only question is, who's next? If you enjoyed this breakdown of the year's most satisfying crashes, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments which downfall you found most deserving. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.